Hello, my name is Laura and welcome to Tuesday training with selling on eBay. Is it snowing where you are? It's coming down thick and fast where we are. It's very, very pretty, but I'm just very glad we don't have to go out in it. So today we are going to talk about images. We had a question that said, are images that important when you're selling online? And if so, what type of images should we be using in order to sell stuff? And the answer to that is images are extremely important, as you might imagine. But the type of images that you have are also important. If you get any, if you're having any questions, if you want any comments, if you want to do any hearts or wows, then please leave them on the feed. So images are important because human beings are very visual creatures. We're animals that have evolved to be very, very highly ultra aware of what we see. So when we're looking at something online, we're not physically present to see it. And that means that we need as many images as possible to try and, what's the word I'm looking for? To try and duplicate the experience of being physically present to look at the item. If you think about it, if you go into a shop or you're at a market and you see something that catches your attention, the first thing you do is you pick it up and you turn it around and you look at it and you look at it upside down. And I don't know what we expect to see on the bottom of a cup that's going to tip the balance about buying it or not, but it's what we do. We all do it. We all examine the item from all different angles. So if you can replicate that experience with your images, you'll do better. So we want lots of images. We want images that are quite tightly cropped in so that the picture, the item fills the frame. We don't want to see a tiny little thing here with loads of white space around it, or even worse, loads of clutter around it. So we want lots of images. They reckon on eBay that you need at least 3 images per item. So what does it look like from the front? What does it look like from the back, from the side, maybe from the top? If it's got any, let's think, if you're selling a handbag and it's got a label on it that says Versace or I don't know if they make handbags actually, but whoever. If it's Coco Chanel, I know they make handbags. So if it's got that label or the distinguishing marks on it, you definitely want to have images of those because it proves that what you're saying in the text is correct. If it's something that is cashmere, for instance, you might want to have the label that says cashmere to show that you're not making it up, basically. And similarly, if there's any damage, if it's got a slight mark somewhere, if there's a tiny scratch, don't just say there's a tiny scratch, you can hardly see it, because what one person's tiny scratch is another person's no, I don't want to buy it. So don't let people imagine what this tiny scratch looks like or the little pull in the thread. Show them a picture of it, and then they can go either, oh, well, that's nothing, I'm still going to buy it, or they can say, oh no, that's not what I'm after. But if you allow your buyers to guess, then they're probably going to not guess the way you want them to. I'm also often asked, is it important to have a plain white background for images? And the answer to that is yes. It can be very boring as a seller to say, this is what you're buying, plain white background, this is it. Especially if you're selling something that is more, what you might say, I don't know, lifestyle. So if you're selling a beauty product, if you're selling a nice little coffee table, for instance, the temptation is to put the coffee table in a living room setting with a vase of flowers on it. It's a mistake. You can certainly have those images, but have those images as secondary. Your main gallery image, the one that people will see in the search results, really needs to have a plain white background. That's not just coming from eBay or Amazon. Amazon have very strict rules about all the images that you put up. It comes from Google and the other search engines, and that means eventually, ultimately, it comes from me and you and everyone else that buys things on the internet. It's what we want to see. We want to see what the image is, plain white background, no frills, no props. We're quite happy to see extras after that. We're quite happy to see the coffee table with the vase of flowers on after we've seen it, just with its plain white background. But the plain white background is actually really important for your main gallery image. So I hope you found that useful. Do comment, as I've said. Do give me some hearts and some wows, and share the little live feed. And we hope to see you next week at the same time, 11 o'clock Tuesday morning, and we'll learn a bit more about selling on eBay. Oh, and don't forget, if you want any more information or you think we can help you with your business, then visit our website, sellingonebayuk.com, which I think the link is below the feed. Enjoy the snow.